Sorry. Here we go. My name is Maxine Haller. I'm an occupational therapist, and I'm about to show you clinical outcomes at speeds that if I did not have visuals and video, it would be kind of hard to believe. These effects have been gained by using the principles from the Foundations for Clinical Neuroplasticity, which has also become known as the Haller method. You can see this conference, you could have a look at it. Okay, here we go. I just did it all fun. It was working, right? You can look at this conference as being like a cheese and wine event, right? We've got very many bites of very rich food. And in the time we have, which is really short, you'll get small tastes that help you anticipate what you're going to be able to read about later. But right now, what I'd like to give you is an experiential small taste of what, and it's kind of like a simulation of what using the Haller method affords clinicians. You were given those two pieces of paper, right? The first one is labeled number 1. Using that page, so page 1, the numbers at the bottom, we're going to see how easily you can find sequential numbers starting at 1. All right, you're going to have 15 seconds to do this. Would you take your pen and circle the numbers in order? Ready? Go. All right, stop. You've now notice the highest number that you found. This time, take your second page and fold that page in thirds, like a letter, like this. So it's folded in thirds, and then fold it, open it up, and fold it in thirds again. This way. You should have 9 boxes in the end. So you'll see there are the little tags on the page that can illustrate to you where the fold should run as well. So I'm going to show you the secret. Right? If you look at the side, you'll see the first number is in the first box. The second number is in the second box, and so on. Now we're going to see how easy it is for you to find sequential numbers, starting with 1 again. And again, you'll have 15 seconds to circle them. You ready? Go. All right, stop. There used to be a bell to that timer. It seems not to keep going off. What I'm hoping is that the second time round, having understood the system or had it explained, you got to a higher number. Did that happen? All right, so you got a little taste. Knowing where to start and what to look for makes all the difference. Just as thinking within the Haller method framework allows for many of the things that play a role in clinical neuroplasticity, and thus functional flow to be addressed optimally. So we all have our researchers whose work we admire. My 2 favorites are Donald Hebb and Michael Mersenne. Hebb established that what fires together, wires together, and I think it's possible to summarize some of Michael Merssen's work as what is ignored is pruned. These 2 principles underline my interventions, my practice, as well as my teaching. They apply when looking at human development, which is set up to happen in a specific sequence with growth and pruning cycles. If this sequence is disrupted at any point, gaps in connectivity are created. These gaps can be interpreted as missing neural connections that show up in very specific muscular contraction patterns. Everything we ever do is done through a muscular contraction pattern. The fewer the connectivity gaps, the more sophisticated the muscular contractions are possible. This increases the diversity and combinations of patterns of contractions available, and it results in more choice of response to any given stimulus. And this state is often experienced as maturity. So the clinical question is, how does a clinician identify and then fill the gaps? What you're about to see is a brief touch on the results of using an aggregated 5-factor approach that identifies and fills neural gaps. It fills them in a sequence that causes a neural cascade, which in turn increases the rate of change. As an occupational therapist, it is my job to find the glitch point in my client's dysfunction that is blocking improvement. To bring about change in function, I usually have to bring about a different set of muscular contractions. And I have found that if clients cannot find the targeted muscle, they can't move it. If they can't move it, they can't do something differently. This is the foundational thinking for my work. It led to the formulation of the 5-factor approach that both identifies gaps and directs remediation. So when I began my retroactive pilot study, I developed an evaluation that quantifies clients' neural function and the improvements in a point system based on these 5 factors. Those 5 factors are available for you to take home on a card, should you want one, and I will have them. The factors encapsulate what I've perceived as foundational issues affecting the application of interventions that eventually affect neuroplasticity and hence function in general. I assign functional point values to each client's initial evaluation, and using my initial estimation of discharge date, a projected rate of recovery per session was set up. This was based on industry standard clinical judgments for diagnosis complexity. So as treatment progressed, I found that compliance with the tailored home exercise program significantly increased the rate of improvement, which we all know, right? So in working with children, though, where we're starting from the beginning, building the brain and its connections, clinicians are seeing very significant speed of change in language, awareness, and function when interventions are targeted and in developmental sequence. This is an example of what can occur within 10 minutes in a child's perceived body schema after doing connectivity exercises. This increase in speed of recovery, it's not just my finding. Most of the therapists that I've trained have found the same thing. Throughout the treatments, there was a definite pattern that emerged. As a result of the Haller method of addressing all 5 factors, there was not only the rates of in-session progress that was better and the usual decrease in impairments, the actual number of required sessions to reach goals is drastically reduced. Now this affects cost-benefit ratio for clients and payer sources, which is an ever-increasing issue in therapy. This is Micah. She's 9 years old, and when she came to me, she was having enough trouble with academic tasks, such as reading and math, that she required tutors, was on a specialized program, had started exhibiting negative behaviors at home. I saw her once a week for 12 weeks. By the end, she was reading voluntarily, was pleasant, and doing quite well at school. A video follows that shows an interview with Mom. I'm hoping you can hear it. Describing the experience, and you will see some of the targeted activities that we did that made such an impact. So here goes hoping, okay? Cross your fingers.
Oh dear.
No. Let's see if I do. Right. Oh, this one. No, there's actually no sound coming out of my computer right now, and there was. We took this out, even when we got it working. All right. It's kind of important for you to hear what she says. We're booby trapped, right? Most important thing. Let's see. This is a really fast one. Okay, so Micah's mom says that Micah began laughing for the first time. She had barely laughed and she was so exuberant. This child's quite old. She'd been doing this a long time ago. She began hugging her father and her grandfather. Child did not hug anyway. We're talking 12 sessions, right? This is not the thing. We know we can get kids to these processes anyway. We know that. The point is the speed. That's
the reason we had Micah come to OT was because she had such a hard time in school, reading, and in general, just she felt anxious a lot, so she would not do well on tests, and I think friendships were hard, and having her do homework was really difficult. But since we've had OT, I actually have to go and stop her from reading at night because she'll stay up and read all night. And she laughs so much more than she used to. The other day she laughed so hard she cried. It's the first time I've ever seen that happen with her. She talks to other people. My friends may have commented on, I think really will talk to him now. What's changed? And my dad even says Michael let him give her hugs and stuff. Before she would never do that. So that is when we had to go to OT.
So this way of thinking, the Haller method of clinical interventions, does not only work with children, it works with adults too. Arlene is a stroke victim. Stroke's are not that different from other induced central nervous system dysfunction, and that includes mental health. Adult stroke does, however, have often a component of an underlying already developed neural structure which just needs reconnecting of the appropriate parts. So after Arlene's stroke and discharge from hospital about 2 years ago, she was treated using the 5 factors of the Haller method. She was able to reach functional status within 3 months, despite her doctor's prognosis that recovery would not be possible. She had the added support of her daughter and her community in participating and performing the exercise programs. What follows after this is an extremely condensed, like I've got it down to 1.5 minutes, of my first 40-minute session with her. At the end of that piece, I have a clip of my 4th and final session, and you'll see some of her regained functional tasks at 3 months. I mean, the functional task regain is amazing now after 2 years. You will see the following changes, right? Firstly, there will be an increase in the clarity of her speech. As the first session progresses, right? Remember, this is the first session, 40 minutes, this is what it took. Secondly, her facial animation and awareness, watch for that. And at the end, notice her balance as well as her emotional engagement. Her balance is arms up, right? It's rapid road to recovery, and it's not that she recovered. Again, it's not, we can, a lot of us as therapists, we can get people where we want to go. It's like, can we get them now faster? Because that's the requirement. So this is Arlene.
And then and I feel a little bit that even that is, I can't forget I've heard from people, I've heard things, but I believe that I can see that I did myself. But now I can say I feel lost again. I can speak. I'm not talking to play. Well, yeah. I'm amazing, but I make it work. I can talk. I can talk. Look at this. Look, that isn't amazing. This is just stars. And it can become alive again. But today we just start I'm so excited that my puppy actually really started to move from that feel control, not just a big cushion that I'm staying on.
So what I've done is, Arlene is with me. She's 2 years later, and I wanted you to see how she's progressed. So if you'd welcome Arlene. She was dancing last night. So she was sent home to get ready to die. Nice. I kept my talk short so that you'd have question time in case you needed it. So there. It's your call. I'm just telling you.
If there were one or two questions, we could do that. That's about all the time we have.
If there is.
Any questions?
For imaging study, what part of the brain was affected when you had a stroke?
That can use mine to I think it was left master cortex, left Broca's Wernicke's area because we had such aphasia dysfunction. One of my difficulties was, she was in South Africa, I was in America, and we could not pull MRI records. She was just sent home with an injection. And it took a bit of work to get it out, but 40 minutes changed. We got that amount of speech change in 40 minutes.
We got one over there.
Sorry.
How soon after the stroke did you start working?
It was roughly 5 days.
5 days.
She's not the only one though. I've done this for 12 years. It was just the best video I had.
Do you want to describe what you do at all?
So I use primitive reflexes as access points for neural function. We developmentally are who we are as adults because as babies we had a pre-programmed system within us that we should have followed, provided we weren't in a container, we weren't exposed to all the other things, right? If we follow that pre-program, we should become mature adults with the ability to make choices, have good social interaction. And what I do is I tap into the primitive reflexes and make sure that they run correctly and are not entangled. Because that's what we've seen with some of our STNRs now, ATNRs, that they're flipped. That in our current birth processes, we are mixing up all the resources we have to survive. And then I'm also finding that if we don't address all 5 of those areas, we can address cognitive reflexes in maturity, but if we don't address stress, if we don't address trauma, we have locked-in fascial patterns, locked-in frontal line stuckness. If we don't address brain dominance, which will shut down one-sided function, we're in trouble. These are detailed in the abstract and in the write-up. They are all there.
Thank you. Okay. That's yours, or it was?
That's mine.
Okay, good, thank you. Okay, all right, our last speaker of the morning is Sigrid Grauman-Brunt. Okay, wonderful, here she is. And her title is Disorder.